Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Vinyl Stallions!
Ladies and gentle swine, welcome to this very new format of Vinyl Stallions, a podcast about all things music. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. All of our social medias are at Vinyl Stallions. So today, like I just said, we're bringing you a new format, and that is a top 10 battle between Spruce and I. And so how this is going to work is, and we'll do several of these, we are each going to pick our top 10 of a certain thing. We are going to, sort of go back and forth with our lists, and then you, the Stampede out there, are going to decide who's got the better list. And so for today's top 10 battle, we are doing the top 10 albums of 1994. So this was the year that I was born, 1994, a little bit after Kurt Cobain died tragically, and a little bit before the then Cleveland Indians, now Cleveland Guardians, opened what was called Jacobs Field at the time, is now called Progressive Field, 1994. So top 10 albums of 1994. And if you're not really familiar with this year in music, there are so many good albums that came out this year. So this is a great one to do.
And for those people out there voting, my name is Spruce. Welcome to my team. Clep, you're going down. My list is going to take your list down.
We'll see about that.
Her, but a her. No, but
all right.
Yeah, dude, this is going to be fun. I'm excited that we're diving into a whole new format. And yeah, 1994. Holy shit. What a year for just music itself.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get right into it. We're just going to count them down 10 through 1. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, I'll go first. You gave me a nice transition talking about Kurt Cobain. So for my 10th album out of my top 10, so number 10 is going to be the MTV Unplugged in New York by Nirvana, which is, again, a live album that they obviously did for MTV. It felt a need to be put on this list, whether you want to consider it an actual studio album. It's an album nonetheless, and you are coming on my list, Nirvana.
Yeah, and that was one that I had considered too, and was kind of tough to leave off, but I had to. But so for me, for mine at number 10 is going to be the album Who I Am by Alan Jackson. And this just kind of shows you how good this album is, because like if you've listened to the podcast before, a few episodes, like that like Spruce and I aren't necessarily big on country, but this to me is just like the peak of country music. Like Alan Jackson, like maybe the GOAT country artist, like his best album. There's so many good songs on this album, and just like it's just a medium that I'm just not as like drawn to, but I just love this album. It's like this one country album where I can just say like I love every single song on it. So that's what I got at number 10. We'll kick it back to Spruce for his number 9.
All right, so for number 9 is a band, a prominent 90s band that just puts out one of their best pieces of work ever. Purple by Stone Temple Pilots. And
what an album.
This album is just, it has so many just insane songs like Vaseline, Interstate Love Song, like Big MC.
I think I'm coming glued.
And I've talked about it in the past before that I had the opportunity with Mike Avdi, a previous Stallions guest, the director of ticketing sales for the Prime Social Group, who puts on many festivals in Columbus and throughout the whole U.S. at this point now. Him and I got to see Stone Temple Pilots in mid-2000s, and what an insane experience. But number 9, Purple, Stone Temple Pilots.
And yeah, that's a great one. Spoiler alert, I got it too, but it's going to be a little higher up the list. So coming in at number 9 for me is going to be the album Super Unknown by Soundgarden. This is their most popular release. It had the song Black Hole Sun on it, which is obviously a staple of 90s radio, a staple of the 90s grunge genre in general. But yeah, also has, like Fell on Black Days, The Day I Tried to Live. So it's got a lot of their more popular songs on that album. But yeah, it's a great album start to finish. If you've never listened to it before, I highly recommend, as with all the albums we are discussing today. But yep, Super Unknown by Soundgarden coming in at number 9 for Clep.
All right. So at number 8, I have a very unique album, Grace by Jeff Buckley. And Jeff Buckley is an American singer-songwriter, and this is his only studio album. And the most popular song that you're going to recognize on it is Hallelujah, which you can find in Shrek and also many other places. But it's regarded like Jeff Buckley's gotten praise for this, and it's only grown over time as well. Like Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, Bob Dylan has named it as one of the greatest songwriters of this decade. And again, one album, and he's getting praises from David Bowie as well. So don't stop as well at Hallelujah, because I told Clep about this album and he gave it a listen today. And Clep, how was it for you?
Oh yeah, that album was incredible. So yeah, like before Spruce and I did this, we didn't reveal the order, but we just shared the 10 albums that we would be bringing to the table today. And that was the one where I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never heard of this album, artist, anything. And Spruce was like, oh, you don't know about Grace by Jeff Buckley? I was like, no. And yeah, you said like that exact same thing. Like Robert Plant, like all these guys, just like, or was it Jimmy Page?
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah, they just all have this high praise for this album. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just listened to the whole thing, and holy shit, must listen. Absolutely a must listen album.
What do you got at number 8?
All right. So yeah. Unfortunately, that one didn't come in the top 10 for me. I mean, just because today is my first day listening to it. My fault. But at number 8, and we talked about it earlier, I got Purple by Stone Temple Pilots. So yeah, we don't need to get too deep into it. We already talked about it, but yep, I got Purple by Stone Temple Pilots at number 8.
All right. So coming in at number 7 for your boy is Weezer, Blue Album by Weezer. And you want to talk about an album that has hit after hit after hit, from My Name is Jonas to Buddy Holly to their classic Say It Ain't So, Holiday.
Song.
Yeah, the sweater song. Yeah, I literally, how did I skip that one? So it's, this just deserves, like, I'm not a huge Weezer fan. I saw Weezer last year actually on the Super Hella Mega ticket, and in San Francisco, which featured Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. Incredible. But it was an incredible time. Not a huge Weezer fan, but like, man, this album is just iconic for myself with how many songs.
Yeah, it is a really good Weezer album. I listened to a lot more Weezer when I was in high school. I think I actually had like a Weezer shirt that I would, wear around. But this was definitely one of my favorite albums of theirs, and I did give it some consideration for my top 10, but it came up just a little short.
Awesome.
So,
what do you have?
Yeah, so coming in at number 7 for your boy Clep is the album Dulcinea by Toad the Wet Sprocket. And this album is very interesting. So Toad the Wet Sprocket, they were very popular in the 90s, and they even got their start in the late 80s. And so their lead singer, this is their 4th studio album, their lead singer Glenn Phillips, the way he described this album is, we finally realized on this album that we actually know what we're doing, but it was still early enough in our careers where we weren't overthinking things. And yeah, this album, it's so good. Like, it's very, I mean, and just Toad in general, they're like very acousticy, but they're still rocky. But the songwriting in particular in this album is just next level. I've seen this band live a couple times, and just seeing songs off of this album in particular, like, they translate live better than so many, like, comparatively to so many of their other albums. And I just love this album so much. There's not a bad song on it.
Hell yeah. No, that is, dude, it's crazy they've been around for this long and still just constantly playing out as well. So that's a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's hasn't been much turnover in the band. The only member that's changed is the drummer, and no bad blood or anything. The original drummer just wanted to be a full-time music teacher. He just wanted to teach drums. He was done playing them, and other than that, same dudes.
All right, to close out the latter half of my top 10. So coming in at number 6, The Return of Space Cowboy by Jamiroquai.
Oh.
And let's just say this is fresh on my mind because there was a little thing we like to do called Vinyl Roulette. And in an unreleased episode, we got Jamiroquai's first album, The Emergency on Planet Earth. And from there, the second album, The Return of Space Cowboy. And I mean, from Stillness in Time, Manifest Destiny, Scam, Morning Glory, like, you can't go wrong with this one. So it's fresh on my mind, rightfully so. 2-hour, 5-minute ripper, The Return of the Space Cowboy.
Yeah. Oh man, that's just an incredible album, and it was another tough one for me to leave off. And this just shows how many good albums really did come out this year. So for me, coming in at number 6 is going to be the album Hoist by Fish. And yeah, this is a very interesting album. It has a lot of the band's, like, in my opinion, best songs, a lot of their songs that translate to live better than some other ones. And I really love this album. Like, Fish is like, it's like a tie between them and Dave Matthews Band for my favorite band. So to have this coming in at 6 just kind of shows you like how highly I think of the albums that are about to come after this.
All right. So to start out our top 5, coming in at number 5 for Spruce is Cracked Rear View by Hootie and the Blowfish. And one of the most just iconic voices of the 90s. You know it's a Hootie song as soon as it starts playing. And it has the hits, obviously, Only Want to Be With You, a.k.a. AEYOU. And it also has Let Her Cry, which takes me right
love
back.
that
Dude, like towards the end when he's just like, let the tears fall down like rain.
Fall down like rain. Dude, I want to see Hootie live so bad. One of my coworkers has seen them like 3 or 4 times, and he's like, dude, that's so good. And I want to go so fucking bad.
Well, you're lucky for you, he's still touring. So in all due time. All right. So what broke your top 5?
So yeah, this is where things start to get tough. And like, at least for me, now, like, the rest of these albums are kind of within sort of the same genre. I guess not. But for me, coming in at number 5, and I bet you'll have this one a little bit higher up the list, Spruce. But for me, it's Dookie by Green Day. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this album. It kind of speaks for itself. A lot of Green Day's best songs are on this album. It's massively popular album. Again, just one of the, like, the song When I Come Around, sort of like I was talking about Black Hole Sun earlier, is just one of those songs where like you think of 90s music. When I Come Around by Green Day is like one of those songs that you would include.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, you're right. You know, it may be a little bit higher than that for you, boy, but we'll get there when we get there. Coming in
All
at
right,
number
who you got it
4.
for?
Number 4, Vitalogy by Pearl Jam.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
so one that keeps appearing on the Stanley and Shuffle is Not For You. Actually, Whipping comes
This is
on.
not for you. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I say, hey, sometimes Eddie will take control of your mind and just to make you talk in gibberish. But yeah, Vitalogy, Pearl Jam.
Your boy can't help himself. For the audio only people, I'm reaching behind me and pulling Vitalogy by Pearl Jam out. Yeah, that, not to toot my own horn, but I got a lot of these albums that we're talking about on vinyl, like Vitalogy. I got Purple by Stone Temple Pilots.
Dookie.
Yeah, I got Dookie. The Return of the Space Cowboy.
All right, so what's sitting at number 4 for you?
All right, so here's where things get really hard. But coincidentally enough, coming in at number 4 is going to be the album 4 by Blues Traveler. And yeah, this is, in my opinion, this is probably Blues Traveler's best album, if not their second best album. But this is like, if you're into jam bands, this is like a must listen to album. And like again, like I was saying, like Fish, one of my favorite artists. They're like the kings, along with Dave Matthews Band, of the jam band genre. But like I have 4 ahead of Hoist. Like this album is so good. If you're not convinced, just listen to the song Brother John, and then that will be enough where you're like, all right, yep, I'll give it the full listen. But yeah, this has their two popular songs, Run Around and Hook, on it as well. But honestly, those are probably my 2 least favorite off the album. The album is just so good.
I mean,
we're only gonna get that make it.
We're only gonna get good albums from here on out.
So yep, 4 for Clep. What you got at 3, Spruce?
So coming in a top 3 at number 3 is Ready to Die by Notorious B.I.G.
Wow, that's right. I remember you did have this on your list, and
I mean, how can you not? So I like took a minute to again digest all the albums when I was looking them up in 1994, and you go through this entire track list, which consists of 19 songs, and you get all the hits from Juicy to Big Papa to Me Bitch to Ready to Die, the title track, Give Me the Loot. Like, I mean, these are all just iconic 90s songs from a storyteller. That is what Notorious B.I.G. got his credit for, is just being a storyteller. And unfortunately, well, so get this, Clep. This was his debut album.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with the album.
Well,
I personally couldn't pick it because I haven't listened to the whole thing.
Oh, listen to the whole thing. It's crazy. But unfortunately, dude, it's the only studio album released during his lifetime, as he was murdered 16 days before the release of his second album, Life After Death.
Yeah.
But I had to put it on here. I mean, just again, storytelling all the way through, and just rippers that have never gone away for our entire lifetime, and probably won't for like forever and ever, because you release 2 albums and you're this big, like, you are special. So that had to be at number 3, Ready to Die.
Yeah, and that's a good album. And yeah, like I wanted to consider it, but like I said, I haven't done the work and listened to the whole thing. So I felt like I couldn't really put it in. But coming in at number 3 for me is just an absolute ripper of an album, and similar to one that I've already picked, and it is Smash by The Offspring. definitely my favorite Offspring album. I think it's got like their best work on it for sure. And it very similar to Dookie, like that 90s like fast punk rock. I just think it's like a little bit better than Dookie. That's why I have it at 3 instead of 5. Yeah, amazing album, like must listen. You know, like that's got a lot of their radio hits too, like Bad Habit, Come Out and Play. What else is on there? Nitro. It just the whole album, just ripper after ripper.
No, that's honestly a great choice. Offspring is such an iconic band of the 90s. And so is our good friends from Virginia, coming in at number 2 for me. Under the Table and Dreaming, Dave Matthews Band. And man, it was very tough not to put this at number 1, because this is honestly one of my all-time records ever. But coming in at number 2, Under the Table and Dreaming, the debut album of Dave and the Boys.
And I'll just make it simple. That's what I got at number 2 too.
Yeah.
So based on the rest of our lists, I think I have a good idea of what you have at 1. I'm interested if you can guess what I have at 1 too. So I'm guessing at number 1, you got Dookie, like, because you haven't said it yet. And like, how could you not have Dookie on this list?
I mean, dude, how could you not put this at number 1? You go through this and like you said, the iconic of like When I Come Around, but man, Burnout, Welcome to Paradise, Basket Case, She, Sassafras Roots, In the End, All by Myself, like, and there are a bunch other that I haven't even named, but this album is the 90s. It is absolutely incredible from start to finish, and has just set an entire generation. Like it's like the all-time. It's an all-timer. It's an all-timer. I love it. Dookie, number 1 for Spruce.
All right, Spruce, can you guess what I have at number 1?
I didn't study your list that well.
I'll give you a hint. You've already listed it in your top 10.
It's got to be. I don't know. I don't remember any doubles. Hit me with it. Oh, Purple. Oh, no, you said Purple.
Oh no, yeah, Purple was
number 8 for you.
Yeah.
All right. What?
Vitalogy by Pearl Jam. Oh man, this is just like this is, I think, Pearl Jam's best album.
I forgot you didn't name that one. Fuck.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, Not For You, Spin the Black Circle, Tremor Christ, Nothing Man, The Whipping, Corduroy, like Better Man. Oh my goodness, Immortality. This album is just absolutely loaded with some of Pearl Jam's best work, and like there's just not a bad song on it. And I don't know, I listened to the shit out of that album in high school. Holds a special place in my heart. Like I like it even more than the album 10, which is like a hot take among a lot of Pearl Jam fans, but I don't care. I'll duke it out with anyone.
Duke out or Dookie out? Well, ladies and gentlemen,
coincidentally enough, your boy Klep's got. Here we go. I got both the top albums of this episode on vinyl. You can see it on my screen. We got Vitalogy, we got Dookie. Top albums of 1994. But what do you think, Stampede? Who's got the better list?
So let's review them real quick. So I'll go first. Again, coming in at number 1, Dookie by Green Day. Number 2, Under the Table and Dreaming. Number 3 album of 94, Ready to Die, Notorious B.I.G. Number 4, Vitalogy, Pearl Jam. Number 5, Cracked Rear View, Hootie and the Blowfish. Number 6, Return of Space Cowboy, Jamiroquai. Number 7, Weezer, Blue Album by Weezer. Number 8, Grace by Jeff Buckley. Number 9, Purple by Stone Temple Pilots. And number 10, MTV Unplugged in New York by Nirvana.
Right on. And that's a hell of a list. See, like that's the thing too, is like you can't really go wrong either way. But yep, again, to recap, mine got Vitology by Pearl Jam coming in at number 1. Under the Table and Dreaming by Dave Matthews Band coming in at number 2. Smash by The Offspring coming in at number 3. 4 by Blues Traveler coming in at number 4. Dookie by Green Day coming in at number 5. Then we got Hoist by Fish coming in at number 6. Dulcinea by Toad the Wet Sprocket at number 7. Purple by Stone Temple Pilots at number 8. Super Unknown by Soundgarden coming in at number 9. And Who I Am by Alan Jackson rounds it out at number 10. And I want to shout out a few albums that we haven't mentioned. One being, and this is an impossible album name to pronounce, but I'm just going to give it my best shot. Southern Playlist de Cadillac Music by Outkast. That's their debut album. Great album. Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains. Grassroots by 311. Awake by Dream Theater. Corn by Korn. And Amorica by the Black Crowes. All amazing albums that just came up just a little bit short in our top 10s. Any others that I might be forgetting, Spruce?
No, I think you drilled it on with those honorable mentions. But yeah, like we said, Stampede, we want you guys to get involved. Let us know who has the best top 10 of the year 1994. We'll be posting them in the bio of this episode, but you can, again, all of our social media at Vinyl Stallions. You'll be able to see our list there as well. But yeah, Clep, your birth year had some decent music, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. If only I would have been born like 16 years earlier, and then this music would have been coming out when I was in high school.
It's all right.
Oh, well, good music came out when I was in high school anyways.
And music never goes bad. So right there you have it. Little sneak preview. Your boy Spruce, baby Spruce, born a year later in 1995. And we will be doing another top 10 for that year coming here soon. So stay tuned. But again, go let us know who has the best top 10 out of the Stallions.
On that note,
my name is Spruce.
I'm Clep.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl